Okay, good morning students. Today we shall discuss about the failure rate and repair rate, and also we shall discuss about the distributor fed at one end and distributor fed at both ends, like that. Okay. And repair rate. What do you mean by failure rate? The number of failures. Okay. The number of failures per unit is known as a failure rate of the component. Okay. For any component, the number of how many times it has been failed. Okay. How many times the number of failures per unit time is known as a failure rate of the component. Okay. It is denoted by lambda, that is equal to total number of failures divided by total operating time. Is the number of repairs. For example, if you take any component, how many times you have been repaired for that component? Okay, for if any failures that need to be corrected, that need to be repaired, right? So any component, the number of repair per unit time is known as a repair rate. It is denoted by mu. Mu is equal to total divided by total operating. What is mean time to failure? Mean time to failure is equal to 1 divided by lambda. Mean time to repair is equal to 1 divided by mu. Okay. Mean time to failure is equal to 1 divided by lambda. Mean time to repair is equal to 1 divided by mu. And next is a failure distribution. Failure distribution. The commonly used forms of failure distribution are given below. That is, first is a exponential distribution. I repeat, mean time to failure is equal to 1 by lambda. Mean time to equal to 1 by mu. And next is a failure distribution. Here, commonly used forms of failure distribution are first is a exponential distribution. It is a here it is commonly used for components or system exhibiting a constant failure rate. Here, whose strength does not change with the time. Okay. Take the component that strength the strength will not change with the time. Okay. Here distribution exponential distribution means where we this is a describing the strength and life length. Okay. It is commonly used for components or system due to its simplicity. It has been widely used, and it is readily applicable for distributions where rate is small and sample large. Okay. Here, extreme disturbances occurring completely at random and independently. Okay. In exponential distribution. Next is a Weibull, that is Weibull distribution. In this, failure rate depends on the measure of a skewness of the distribution curve. What is here for m? If, for example, m is greater than 1 means that condition is for failure rate increases. If m is less than 1, failure rate is decreases. What about m is equal to 1? Then Weibull distribution becomes an exponential distribution. M is nothing but a skewness. Normal distribution or Gaussian distribution. Here distribution is continuous, bell-shaped and symmetric. It means and can take values from negative infinity to positive infinity. Here it is a continuous and bell-shaped and symmetric. It mean and it can take values. Whatever it values range from negative infinity to positive infinity. This distribution is very useful strength in reliability studies of distribution, normal or Conductors of overhead lines, strength of poles, insulators, applied over voltage for air gap follows this distribution. For these conditions, they use a normal or Gaussian distribution. Next, log normal distribution. It is a generally used for reliability studies cycles to failure for describing the length of time to repair a piece of equipment. Here, this distribution is used for reliability studies and cycles to failure and for describing the length of a time to repair. And next, in this failure rate increases finest, but later it decreases and reaches to 0. What they are saying is, in this failure rate, it will increase, but what happens after some time, it will decrease and it will reach to 0 in log normal distribution. In this distribution also failure rate, it will also depend on the measure of skewness. Here for m greater than 1 failure rate increases and for m less than 1 failure rate decreases. And next is a mixed variable distribution. It is commonly used for modeling the behavior of components or systems having a multiple failure modes. Okay, once again I repeat, where it is used for means it is used for modeling the behavior of a components or systems having a multiple failure modes. Okay, whatever, if you take the components, the failure modes will be different. Okay, the failure mode, it may be some part it may be failure and whole part it may be failure, minor failure or major failure. Okay, depends. Okay, so here it is used for the modeling the behavior of components and or systems having a multiple failure modes. And here variable parameters are calculated separately for each subpopulation and then results are combined. First they will calculate separately and next finally they will combine the results. Okay. Is a distributor. We have discussed already types of distribution. Okay, now types of a DC distributors. We have discussed about what we have discussed. AC distributor, that is a power factor referred to load voltage and power factor referred to receiving end voltage we have discussed. Okay, that is AC. Here we shall discuss the DC distributors and distributor fed at one end, both end and at the center, and is a ring distributor. One by one we shall discuss that distributor fed at one end. What is this distributor fed at one end? You can see the figure. Okay, from A to C there is a three current is flowing, that is I1, I2, I3, and from C to D I2 plus I3, and from D to E I3 is flowing. Okay, the current in the various sections, for example from A to C is a one section, like that from C to D is another section. So the current in the various sections of the distributor away from feeding point, this is a feeding point. Okay, this is a feeding point, goes on decreasing. From here it will go on decreasing. Thus current in section AC, the current in section AC is more than the current in section CD. Okay, if you compare this current with this current, because it will be high, because here three currents are flowing, here only two currents are flowing. Okay, so they are saying starting what AC section, at that section the current will be more. Okay, and it goes on decreasing here. And when you compare, the current in section CD is more than the current in section DE, right? Here two currents is flowing, here only one current is flowing. So if we can say that the current in section CD is more than the section in DE, right? The voltage across the loads away from the feeding point goes on decreasing. The voltage across the loads, that is, these are the loads I1, I2 and I3. These are the three loads they have connected for a distributor. So the voltage across these loads, it will goes on decreasing as the minimum voltage occurs at the load point E. Okay. Fault occurs on any section of the distributor, the whole distributor will have to be disconnected from the supply mains. So here continuity of supply is interrupted. What they are saying, if there is any fault in this line, then whole part get affected. If any fault in here, whole part is get affected. So interruption. Okay. Yeah, we continuity of supply we cannot maintain. Okay, here continuity of supply is interrupted, nothing but divided. Okay, next is a distributor fed at both ends. Okay, here the distributor fed at both ends, it is A and B. Okay, here only from it is feeding only at A side. Okay, but here both the sides. If any fault occurs on any feeding point of the distributor, the continuity of supply is maintained from other feeding point. What they are saying is, if there is any problem or any fault in this case A, okay, so we can maintain the continuity of supply from B. Okay, so if any fault occurs in A, we can maintain the power supply by using the feeding point at B. Okay, in case of fault on any section of the distributor, the continuity of supply is maintained from other feeding point. If any problem in B, we can maintain the continuity of supply from A. Okay, like that. So the area of X section required for a doubly fed distributor is much than that of a single fed distributor. If we use a double side, that is it is fed on both sides. Okay, right. So at then X section, the area of X section required for a doubly fed distributor is much less than that of a single feed distributor. Next here, distributor fed at the center. This is the distributor fed at the center. It is equivalent to single distributors, each distributor having a common feeding point. Here this is the distributor line and this is the distributor line, but for the two cases, for two single fed distributors, common point is C. Okay, common feeding point. Okay, this is a ring main. Here means this is a distributor wing and this is the feeders, and here the distributor wing may be fed at one or more than one point. Okay, it can be fed at one or more than one point. Next is a distributor fed at one end in that concentrated loading. This is a diagram. Okay, between A and C, I1 is flowing, I2, I3, I4. Okay, and let R1, R2, R3, R4 be the resistance of both wires. These are the resistance. These are the resistance. R1, R2, R3, R4 be the resistance of both the wires go and return of the sections AC, CD, DE, EF of the distributor respectively. Current fed from point A, that is from here to here, what current will be flowing? I1 plus I2 plus I3 plus I4. What about the current in section from that is AC? Okay, from AC also it will be same. Okay, at point A, I1 plus I2 plus I3 plus I4, and from point A to C, same current. Okay, from C to D, what you will get? I2 plus I3 plus I4. From D to E, again I3 plus I4. From E to F, finally I4 current. Okay, what about the voltage drop in sections? Okay, we know the current, right? In each section we know the current. Just multiply resistance. Okay, voltage drop in section AC. What is the resistance? R1. So R1 into, what about the current? I1 plus I2 plus I3 plus I4. And what about the voltage drop in section CD? R2 is equal to R2 into I2 into, sorry, I2 plus I3 plus I4. Next, voltage drop in section DE. What about the resistance? R3. Okay, R3 into I3 plus I4. What about the voltage drop in section EF? R4 into I4. Therefore, total voltage drop in the distributor R1 into, if you had this total voltage drop, okay, add total voltage drop, then you'll get the total voltage drop in the distributor. It is easy to see that minimum potential will occur at point F, which is the farthest from the feeding point. What they are saying is minimum voltage occur at F point. Okay, this is the F point. Minimum voltage, minimum potential will occur at F point, that is which is a far from the feeding point. It will be, voltage will be maximum at here and it will go on decreasing and it will become minimum here. Okay, okay, this is a fed at one end, concentrated loading, and this is a uniformly, okay, here it is a divided uniformly loaded distributor fed at one end. Here this is the diagram of that, and here total length is a L. So here two wire DC distributor AB fed at one end A and loaded uniformly with I amperes. What is a uniformly loaded? That is a here current, overall current is high. Okay, for load is same. Okay, if you observe, we have to I3 I4 like that. Okay, it means that every 1 meter length of the distributor, the load tapped is I amperes. Let that is L meters be the length of the distributor and R be the ohm. Okay, the resistance per meter run. This is the diagram, and this is they have taken, just to consider a point C on the distributor at a distance x meters from the feeding point. Just they have considered a one point C, that is at a distance x from the feeding point. Okay, and the current at point C is IL minus Ix amperes. If you take out I common, L minus X amperes. Now consider a small length dx near point C. Its resistance is R dx and the voltage drop over the length dx is, here first they have considered the point on a distributor line and they have find out the current. For that IL minus Ix you will get, and next to find out the current we need to take the whole length, right? So IL minus Ix. Okay, next they have considered here small length dx near point C. Its resistance is Rdx and the voltage drop over the length dx is dV is equal to I into L minus x, R into dx. Okay, IR L minus x into dx. Total voltage drop in the distributor up to point C is, first we shall find out the voltage drop in the distributor from starting point to C. Okay, so V is equal to, the limit starts from 0 to x. LR in, sorry, IR, open bracket L minus x close bracket into dx. Okay, when you integrate this part, what you will get? IR open bracket Lx minus x square divided by 2. Okay, here if it is nothing, 1 we should consider. Okay, when you integrate you will get x will become x square divided by 2. Okay, if you apply limit also you will get the same value. Okay, because it is limit is from 0 to x. Okay, the voltage drop up to point B. Then finally, now we have found out the voltage drop from A to now from A to B, how much voltage drop is there? Okay. The voltage drop up to point B can be obtained by putting X is equal to L. Okay. Now we have taken, till now we have taken one point, that is C, and we have made a distance as X because we don't know, right? So now we are considering the voltage drop total distributor line from A to B. Okay. Total length. So instead of writing X, we should write L in the above expression. So what it will become, voltage drop over the distributor AB is equal to IR into, that is X we need to write as L. So L into L minus L square divided by 2. So 1 by 2 IR L square, that is equal to 1 by 2 IL into RL. That can be written as capital I, capital R. Okay. What do you mean by capital I, capital R? That is the total current entering at point A, total resistance of the distributor. Okay. This is a uniform loaded distributor fed at one end. The total voltage drop is equal to the produced by the whole of the load assumed to be concentrated at the middle point. Okay, what they are saying is here load is uniformly distributed, fed at one end. It may be a fed at one end, but it is a uniformly distributed, and the total voltage drop is equal to the produced by the whole of the load assumed to be a concentrated at the middle point. Next is a distributed fed at both ends concentrated loading. In this here equal voltages and unequal voltages. This we shall discuss in the next class. Okay.